Everybody, it's Zach again at newtutora.com. Wanted to come and make a video tonight. I was reminded by a video that another person who I've subscribed to, Pastor Dal, did a video tonight on when he was at the airport and he had some words to say. And it reminded me of a recent trip I took. I just went to go visit my friend Pastor Joe Fox out in Kansas, and I had to go to the airport. And so I flew there. I had an extra ticket that I had gotten through work. It's just some extra points, and so I used that free ticket to go visit. And I had to go through the airport. And normally when I go through the airport, I'm used to flying into a number of different cities, and I've usually learned to figure out my way to finagle through the system in order to not get past security, but avoid the cancer machines that are littered throughout the airport. And so I just I'd rather go through the metal detectors instead of just going through the cancer machines. And so I've figured out ways to avoid the cancer machines in different airports. Well, his airport I hadn't been through before, ever. And so I was going through and I didn't know my way around that airport very well, and it ended up in a line where I wasn't going to get out of the cancer machine. Now in other places, I can just figure out I'll go in this line because I see the cancer machines over there, and I'll just try to get in this line and get out of that, and so I don't get cancer. So, because listen, there are people out there today who doctors, legitimate people who know these machines, who know science, who will tell you absolutely these machines are dangerous for your health. So I don't want to hear about any people saying, "Oh, they're fine, they're safe," because they're not, folks. They're not safe. Anyway, so I ended up in this line, and it's the first time I've actually had to opt out. I got through there, and the lady, there was a cancer machine and a regular metal detector, and the line that I was in, it was the only line I could get in. There was a lady up front, very unfit lady, who was directing people through this lane or that lane. And so she looked at me and said, "Okay, ugly guy with a beard, you're going through my cancer machine." So I immediately said, "I'm sorry, but I'd rather opt out." And she got this look of, "Oh, okay." Like, it wasn't a look of surprise really, but it was more or less a look of, "Oh, okay, you're not the average sheeple. I'm going to get on my radio now and make a scene." And it wasn't that big of a deal, but she's like, "Opt out. We have an opt out. I need opt out." And she was quiet for a second, and then she got on her microphone again. "Opt out. I have an opt out." And so she said, "Sir, stand over here to the side." There were 2 footprints on the carpet where it was like facing the wall. So I'm up there and I'm facing the wall, standing with my feet on these 2 footprints. And I'm just kind of waiting there with my hands on my hip, kind of like, okay, what's going to happen next? And some big burly guy comes up and says, "Follow me." And after about a minute or so, and I follow him over to the side, and everybody's looking at me. I'm right in front of everybody. Everyone's looking at me like, "Okay, what did you do?" Because they didn't know. I kind of said quietly, "Hey, I want to opt out," And she made a big scene by getting on a radio, and everyone heard. So obviously there's something wrong with that guy. What's wrong with that guy? What did he do? And so my big burly guy comes over. I go with him. He go over to the side, and he proceeds to tell me and instruct me that now I'm not going to touch you in any way aggressive. And just going through this rigmarole that that he's memorized. He's been forced to memorize because there's been so many problems with the TSA. And so he goes through this whole spiel and says, "Now I'm going to touch you here. I'm going to touch you with the back of my hands, blah, 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 da, 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 da." And I said, "Okay, I understand." And he looked at my seat because I have my seat on, and he's kind of like, he just kind of does one of those, okay, he looks at me, okay, whatever. And because he forced me to take my belt off, and my CCs are still attached, so to my belt loops. And so he's kind of like, whatever, going through and just doing all his touching that he has to do. And then he's done, and basically takes a swab of my clothes with this pad and then puts it into a machine and checks it. I guess it x-rays it to make sure I'm not some kind of explosive expert who's been playing with explosives. And so he says, "Okay, you're clean and you can go." And so I had to get my belt on, get my shoes back on. And so I'm standing in there basically with my arms out, and he's doing all his thing, whatever, and everybody's looking at me on the way out because I'm just some sort of freak. And it just dawned on me how many of the sheeple who are going through this cancer machine and just not caring. They don't care at all. Absolutely don't care at all. They have done no research, and that's what we live. Sheep are the dumbest animals. They are. Sheep really are the dumbest animals. I just saw a picture on Facebook of a guy supposedly the other day who rescued a sheep in Norway or something from going out into the ocean. It just got separated from its flock and decided, I'm going to go in the ocean. I mean, sheep are really the stupidest animals, and it's no reason. I mean, it's no duh that we associate human beings with sheep, because we really just are that stupid. We don't care. We could be surrounded by wolves and just not care at all. You know, we just really just don't eat me, Mr. Wolf. Don't eat me. You know, eat that guy over there. Eat this guy over here. My mother, sure, take my mother, but don't eat me, Mr. Wolf. We are the dumbest animals, and it's no wonder that the scriptures, the Father equates his flock that have been scattered to the four corners of the earth as sheep, because we really are just that stupid. All right. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Share my opt-out experience with the TSA. It's the first time it's happened to me, and I've been flying a lot, enough to get free airline miles with free flights. And I've managed to work my way in airports to just pay attention and be observant. And this was the first time I really got caught with going and not being able to find a way that I could just go through a regular metal detector. Instead, I had to go through, Hilga is what she kind of reminded me of Hilga, big brutish woman, that forced me to go through the cancer machine. But I had to go. I went through the opt-out instead. So anyway, the U.S. is doomed. It's just doomed. All right, that's it. Go home. Read your Bible. Thanks.